Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below. Hello everybody and welcome to Apex Online Racing Hype Energy F1 Leagues. This is round number 13 and we're here in Japan in Suzuka. Now if you're wondering, where's Justin and Andy tonight? They can't make it tonight. So there's no F2 stream, but you got me commentating for Xbox One F1 tonight. But I'm not alone, luckily. Tonight I am joined by the lovely James. How you doing?
Again, what a race we've got in store for you today. This is a Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka. No better racetrack on the calendar. One of the jewels of the crown, if you like. Nothing as good as Suzuka, in my opinion. Unless you're on a pad, of course, in which case it could be an absolute nightmare. Or a cracking race we're in for, though, tonight. It's going to be something, hopefully, truly special. A lot of title permutations for this evening as well.
Yes, indeed. I think we got 2 championship contenders. We thought that the Flying Finn wasn't going to race tonight, but he is. He's got one final race before he's due to fly out on his holiday. So he's got one final chance if he wants to secure the championship today. So if he wins this race today, I think he's got to outscore Evo by 3 points. Or if he wins this race, he will secure the championship tonight. But if Evo wants to stand a chance of winning the championship, he's got to win all remaining races in order to stand a chance. So he did well last time about by winning in Malaysia. So he's up to a good start. So if he wins this race, he stands for a pretty good chance. But we are seeing we almost got a full lobby tonight. We've got one person missing. We've got Joe. And we've got a fill-in today of Ycoms, who usually races on PC. But his PC is not playing up at the moment, so we've got him on our Xbox Tier 1 League, so it's nice to have him about as well. And it's great to have a full grid with some very tricky corners, and we don't know what the weather's going to be like. You know, Shana, this morning it was raining in the race, but dry quali, but it will be interesting. So tyre strategy today is super softs and medium. That is the tyre strategy today. A majority of people are on the super softs at the moment racing as well, so that should be quite interesting strategies today, James.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe you can do the one-stop round here. It's pretty straightforward, nothing too drastic about that. There is, I mean, if we're going to really go into title permutations for this evening, as a technicality, Evo, it could still do it, but he would have to outscore the Flying Finn by some 16 points this evening and win the remaining 2 races of the season to take the title away from the Flying Finn. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, cannot see that happening. Although, having said that, Finn has damn well nearly bottled it on his first run. So, yeah, this is going to it's pretty interesting. It's wide open, but it almost reminds me of 2011 when Vettel and Button basically were going for it. And it was a few points, but naturally, Vettel came out on top that year. Rosberg has gone fastest of all with a 29.1. Expect to see faster times than that as this session goes on, as Gorsh improves to a 28.6. It's all times flying in now, Jess. Yeah, absolutely. Finn, I believe, is on a lap. He's just coming through towards Spoon Curve now. He's really on it as well by the look of things. His top three, Wycomb's, Evo, and Limitless, the top three at the moment.
Yes, it's extremely close now. I just realised my mic was on mute for a little bit there, so I'm so sorry about that, but hopefully you guys can hear me now. But yes, we got Wycombe on pole position. Limitless doing a good lap as well with P2 at a 1:27.9, which is not too bad, but we could see people in the low 1:27s as well. But I think most people have gone to the pits now to make sure that they get some new tyres. I wonder if people will go on the soft tyres as well in the bottom 10 as well, so it'll be interesting to see that as well. So yes, and hopefully these guys can pull up a stopper, and I think all of them on the super softs, I think is a good call. They'll possibly be a dry race today, but we will have to find out and see as well, as the Flying Finn has gone on and set a pole lap of 1:27.6. A great lap from him, so a great big confidence boost there. So at the moment he's on provisional pole, standing out from the rest, and Evo's in P4. So championship standing is looking incredibly good for the Flying Finn.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing lap actually. 3/10 faster than anybody else. That is stellar, really. That's the kind of lap that you want to see to really, like you say, just bolster a championship hope. But actually taking a look at it, the top 15 are filled by a second at the moment. Expect that to decrease as well. There's a couple of cars that still haven't set their laps, and I think a few, e.g. Morso and Rosberg, are going to have to go and set a better lap time naturally. But yeah, that was a pretty amazing lap from Finn, and yeah, 1:27.6, 27.6. Yeah, so like you say, it's a big confidence boost for him, and let's just see if he needs to improve on that time as the session goes on.
Exactly, but I think we could see the likes of Evo, Pycone, possibly Wycombs as well, possibly improve as well. So we could see the likes of that as well. It is very tricky to get your hand as well. Let me know in the comments in the stream what your thoughts of this qualifying so far. Who you think is going to get pole position to stand any chance of them taking victory here today. Not many races in Japan convert from a pole to a race win, like we saw in Oceania race this morning. So it doesn't really matter if you get pole, but grid position I think is very crucial. If you start in the top 5, I think a possible chance of winning it. So I think the gap is separating possibly between 5/10 of a second. So getting very close indeed between the guys. So we just seen Reynolds go on his out lap. We got PR1 Brown as well on his flying lap as well. So we're going to follow him. Nope, he's ghosting at the moment, so I'm not going to follow him. But we got the likes of Reynolds, Gorche, Danny, Lockdown on the out lap as well. Wycombe, Simon, everyone's going on their flying lap out laps now. So they want to minimise the chance possible. They haven't changed their tyre strategy, so it should be very, very interesting. So yes, so I'm just intrigued to find out if anyone can beat the Flying Finn tonight. He is definitely a good contender, but we will just have to wait and see. So I'm just seeing if anyone is going on the flying lap to see if we can follow them as well. As Flying Finn, I think, is going out of the pits there, but I think we only got a few on an out lap at the moment. So I think the ones that have gone out first will probably use it to their advantage. So maybe a mistake for the ones that are still on the pits. Maybe they should have gone out earlier, but we will have to wait and see. It is up to them, of course, when they pit. Just possibly wait for some clear air, but we can see a good championship battle for the midfield as well, from the likes of Pinecone and Martin as well. Martin is looking for a stronger result this time. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I don't know what has happened there, but possibly someone did bin it in the lap there, so we'll have to wait and see. But it looks like Wycombe is about to set his flying lap in the Japanese Grand Prix, so we are going to follow him as he's one of the first people to start on a lap, then to start his final lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. So hopefully he'll do very well for his first race back in Xbox, because to be honest, I think that's where he belongs. So as he crosses the start-finish straight, then as he goes into turn 1, I saw Force India stop there in the corner, so that probably put him off a little bit. He's going cleanly towards the little left hand. He went a little bit wide towards the corner there, but I think he's got a little bit under control there, so it looks like he's okay at the moment. It is quite tricky to handle at the moment. I usually find it quite tricky to keep it there, and he seems to be doing it very well, handling ever so brilliantly. I don't know how these guys do it, because they've got to try and possibly double shift it, or just make sure they go in the right gears possible, to make sure back ends can be quite tricky, to make sure they get the back end correctly, to make sure that they don't go into possibly to the wall. So because Japanese Grand Prix is a fan favourite and a driver favourite. A few people don't like Japanese Grand Prix, but I do personally, because there's a lot of racing, a lot of overtakes, and a lot of DRS zones as well. So as he goes through the penultimate corner, we've seen the runner of Gorsh was stopping there in the corner, which just doesn't help wide comms in the slightest, so that didn't help him whatsoever. So maybe he won't have time to set another lap, but we will just have to wait and see what happens, to see what he does. And I think we've got Flying Finn about to set his flying lap as well, so he'll be the last person to cross the line, I think, to see what time he sets. But for now, the attention is on Wycombe's. What lap is he going to set? Oh, he's a P2, so not enough to clinch the pole from the Flying Finn, but still a really brilliant lap from Wycombe's. He managed to improve just a little bit there, but whoa, so close between them and Flying Finn already. So that's just an amazing lap from Wycombe's. As Martin has just retired, so he's no longer taking part in this qualifying, and hopefully you'll have a good race. I'm just seeing who else is on a flying lap as well. We got Limitless as well. It'll be interesting to see how Evo does as well, see if he can get pole position and snatch it off the Flying Finn. But we will have to wait and see, as I'm seeing where Evo is now. I think Flying Finn is before Evo. No, I'm wrong. I think Evo was before Flying Finn. So we will just have to wait and see on that one who will come out on top between those two. They want to outscore each other, as Evo is on a really good lap at the moment. He's looking very strong, and yeah, it's looking good at the moment. And Lockdown's in P2, so he snatched second place from Wycombe with a really good lap, extremely close as well. But as we follow Evo then, as he goes through the final corner, is he going to get pole? Yes, he is. Provisional pole at the moment, but let's see what Flying Finn is going to do at the moment, as he's still yet to cross the line. Is he going to improve? Is he going to get pole position? Only just 1:27.3. Wow. What a qualifying. He snatched it at the last moment, just as I predicted. So that's a good confidence boost for him, as the Flying Finn will take pole for the Japanese Grand Prix, and Evo, his championship rival, in P2. What a qualifying, James.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty surprised with how much actually just went on there in the final few moments. It looked incredibly close by all the guys at the top, but ultimately the master himself, the Flying Finn, is on top in qualifying. Let's take you through the results then. So Finn will start on the front row alongside his championship rival Evo. If it stays like that in the race, the Flying Finn will take the title. Lockdown starts from third ahead of Wycombe's, who starts on row 2. Limitless and Martin make up the all used to be an all TRO row 3. Vitar Simon and Hamilton make up row 4. Reynolds and Drawmaster, the Super Swede, on row 5. PR Brown starts from 11th with Royalsburg down in 12th. Pinecone is 13th with Morso in 14th. Leopard actually lagged out. He will start from 15th if he gets back in. Danny, Sam and Gorsh and LGS, in fact, round out this 19-man grid, or 18-man grid it could be now because of Leopard. But this is going to be a pretty enticing race, if I'm going to say so myself. It is cloudy, it's overcast, and if you're just joining us, hello everybody, and welcome back to AOR for another instalment, round 13, the Japanese Grand Prix. And let's just see what happens here today, because Finn is just 27 laps or so away from taking AOR Season 15 the championship. What an absolute prospect that is for him. His confidence boost will be going through the roof, as he found out in qualifying. Took a pole position. Doesn't get better than that, does it really? We've seen the likes of Damon Hill, Sebastian Vettel. They've all won championships around here in the past. We may now see a new face upon the AOR. We're not going to see a new face on the AOR list. We're going to see a retained name on the AOR champions list. And we're getting ready to go racing in Suzuka. Here we go. Timer is out. Now we wait for the lights, and there's 5 of them. As we go ready, will Finn take the title today? Lights out and away we go. It looks like a pretty good launch from Evo off the front row. He's already squeezing Finn into turn 1. Finn's got no answer to him as they head into the first corner. Here we go. Evo on the inside of the Ferrari. Leads out of the first corner. There's a big pile up in the background. Brown involved in that scrum. You can see Finn is in second. Wycombs is still up into third place. Lockdown has lost position into fourth. The Force go flying off as they come through turn 3 and 4 there. And it goes off again as well. So big carnage going on. That's more so, I believe, in the Force India. Could be LGS, but it looks like a pretty amazing start from Evo off the front row. What a start, Jess.
Yes, absolutely incredible. Evo is extremely good at starts at the moment, so very impressed with what he's doing at this stage. Gaps are getting incredibly close at the start of this Grand Prix, but we're seeing a few people drop down the field already, so we possibly could see people going to the pits for front wing damage. But at the moment, Evo P1, Flying Finn P2, Wycombs P3. Oh, and we got our first retiree of Sam there, who just bottled it into the wall. Not good for the Japanese Grand Prix, so already not a good start. But I think we got a few front wing damages from some people lower down the field as well. As Rosberg made a move on Simon there, and he's out up into P6, and Rosberg will be catching up on Martin pretty soon. And we also got Martin trying to close up onto Limitless as well. So there are battles left, right and centre tonight. And we got Morso on the back of Simon. I think Morso's trying to squeeze Simon into the penultimate corner. He's made it stick and he's up into P8. What a move from Morso. And we got the Renault who's going to the pits. So he didn't need to make that move, but that's a great confidence boost for him up into P8 at the moment. So he's trying to catch up onto Rosberg. But we got Martin then closing up onto the Ferrari of Limitless. Who's going to come out on top with this move? Is it going to be Martin in a Mercedes or Limitless? We will have to wait and see. But all in all, very close between these guys at the moment. But it is not over until it's over. So it doesn't end in lap 1. So yes, we saw the likes of Brown, Gaucher, LG, Drawmaster have pitted due to front wing damage. And we've got another retiree of Simon. So he has retired from the race as well. So not looking very good for him. But we are seeing very interesting things happening in Japanese already. We don't know what the weather's going to be like, so the drivers have got to be very careful with their tyres at the moment. So tyre strategy at the moment, let's see what they are at this stage. So we got the top 6 in the super soft tyres. We got Rosberg, Morso, Danny and Hamilton. Rosberg on the mediums, Morso on the softs. That is interesting. That could play well for him. And we got Danny on the mediums, the only one on the mediums in the top 10. And we got Hamilton all the way down to P13, of course, in the super soft. And we got Brown, Drawmaster and LG for pitting due to the medium. So very mixed strategies between the guys at the moment, but it is all to play for. I'm still following Martin and Limitless. The gap is 0.3 per second. But we've got Reynolds, who's just made a move on Pinecone. Very nice move there into the penultimate corner, as Reynolds is now up into P11 trying to catch up onto Hamilton. And we've got some battles on the midfield with Hamilton closing in onto Danny. Oh, it is really hard to keep track with these battles today. That is what you see in F1. That is what a difference makes between F1 and F2. They're all good drivers. They have a reason to be here because they're one of the fastest drivers on the platform in AOR. So, this is very buzzing at the moment. I'm just seeing which is the closest battle on the track. But I think the closest battle at the moment is between Pinecone and Reynolds. Pinecone is looking to make a move back on Reynolds. Is he going to do it? DRS will be enabled pretty soon. I think DRS is enabled now, actually. So during the DRS straights, he's looking to maximise on this opportunity, as we got another retiree of LG, so not a good move for him. But Pinecone is trying to squeeze Reynolds from the outside, but he didn't make his stick. So looks like Reynolds is still keeping the position at the moment. So yes, very interesting from the guys. And already Evo trying to increase the gap, but Finn is great pace at the moment, 0.6 per second. So it is all to play for here in Suzuka, James.
Yeah, absolutely. Just 0.6 per second, like you say, between the top 2 guys. That's an interesting start as well from Evo. Just didn't give an inch into the first corner. Just wasn't going to allow Finn to get away. And trouble for him is now it's out of his control. Finn stays where he is. He can win the championship like this. This is not a problem for him. He can deal with this, but he will. He's a racer. This guy wants to win, so he's going to do it at all peril to get past that Ferrari of Evo. The first sector of this lap is just cruel on the front end of the car. It's just got so little front end grip It's something you don't really need to see at all. Martin and Limitless, I think, going at it again, not close enough for a move through any of these sequence of corners. You will not see a move through here. You need to really build up to make an overtake around here. You're not going to find yourself making overtakes in city positions like the first sector. For example, Finn nearly putting two, actually has put two wheels in the gravel, but has stayed on the road and kept it all together. He needs to keep this gap to Evo because he cannot afford really to let Evo go. I suppose he can. It's a bit of a weird one. He can win the championship either way. He doesn't need to win this race, but I'm sure he'd like to on a race where he could win another AOR championship. It's quite incredible. Let's see of any other little battles going on. More so, and Pinecone are side by side towards Spoon Curve they go. The McLaren and the Haas absolutely wheel to wheel. Who's going to yield first? I don't think either of them will. More so, still on the inside, still can't find a way through, and Pinecone is still in P11, and just a cracking little fight that between those two. Hamilton and Danny is the next one up the road. Finn is also, as I say, he's still right there with him. It's just so close between a lot of these guys at the moment. And I think Hamilton's going for a move on Danny as they come down towards the chicane. Can he outbrake the Red Bull? He's going to give it a good go. He's getting squeezed down. Hamilton has now got himself up into P8, and what a lovely little move that was. Finn and Evo, a 10th between them, now just rising to 3/10. But this is so damn close between all these guys at the moment.
Yes, it is quite hard to track these battles at the moment. Oh, we saw someone gone wide. I think it must have been on the Red Bull. I don't know who it was, but I will double check. Danny. Oh, what a shame from Danny. But that will play to his tyres at the moment. As I think it was the gap was 2 seconds down at one point, but now I think Evo is starting to bring the pace up a little bit. Very well, he's controlling this race. Absolutely amazing. But we got locked down in P4. What a great start from him at this race. So let me just see what positions they've gained at the moment. Who are the winners and losers so far? So Evo has gained 1 place. Ycoms has gained 1 place as well. As Reynolds is all over Hamilton, on the back of Hamilton. They squeezed as part of that corner. And we've got the Haas joining in on the party as well. So a three-way battle for 9th place, the 8th place as it were. So extremely close. We've got the Williams, the Haas, and the Force India, and we've got Danny joining the party as well. We saw the Haas going a bit wide a little bit there as well. So yeah, extremely close between these guys. Oh my god, already battles left, right, and centre. We got 3 retirees in this race and not looking good. As we got the Williams was trying to close in. The DRS is now enabled. So who's going to gain advantage here? We will have to find out. Let me just go live on board with Reynolds then, seeing if he can make a move there. We've got Pinecone on the back of him as well. He is trying to increase the gap a little bit, but because of the DRS straight, the pace can increase a little bit. So looking very good for the guys. I'm just seeing what gap between Flying Bin and Evo, 0.410 per second. And we got Martin, 310 per second between him and Lockdown. So let's see if we can see how he does, to see if he can make a move. Martin in a Mercedes. Very interesting. And we track to that midfield battle again then, as Reynolds was able to make a move, and now he's catching up to Hamilton because Pinecone's gone a bit wide there, so into the gravel a little bit, but he was able to get track with his control, so very good from him. So wow, this is getting very interesting, but I'm still trying to follow as much battles as I can today.
Oh no, that was a bit earlier on. My apologies.
No worries, but we got the Force India just squeezing into the Williams there, going through that corner. That was very close, but I think they gave loads of opportunities at the moment. So Reynolds looking very strong as he's trying to close in to Hamilton. Is he gonna do it? But Reynolds is also under pressure from Pinecone as well. It is all over it. A battle for P8 is between these 3 guys. This is getting interesting. The DRS is now enabled, and is Reynolds going to make a move on Hamilton? Is he going to do it as he squeezes Hamilton into the penultimate corner? Haas of Pinecone is joining in the party, and Hamilton has gone into the pits, but Reynolds, what a move, but Pinecone was able to capitalise on the mistake from there, and able to do a very good job, James.
Yeah, absolutely. They're nearly 3-1 to the first corner from what I could see. It's looking pretty close. I think Danny's actually got him on the outside then. In towards turn 3 we go. Danny around the outside of Pinecone and gets the move done. The Haas will try and go back at him through the S's. I'm not sure. He's going to be really sticking his nose in there. Cannot quite keep it all together. can the Haas, and he's eventually going to have to back out. But Danny finds himself into P9. Interesting, I'd just like to note, I think Lockdown has lost position to Limitless. He was ahead of Limitless when I last checked, but he's now dropped off and behind him. So there's been some sort of mistake, I believe, may have been into turn 1. Can Danny now, though, make an attack onto the back of the Force India of Reynolds? Is it going to go for it into the hairpin there? Just a bit too tight on the apex. It's always a good place to make an overtake, but not on this occasion for the Red Bull. The top two, though, like I say, it's only 0.5 of a second. If Finn can get a good run coming through 130R, that pit straight could be an absolute mess with DRS for him. He needs to really keep his cool now. If he can get late on the brakes into the chicane, needs to throw the car in there, needs to really attack the back of that Ferrari. It's not easy. You can see he's got very little grip at this stage. I'm not sure why that is. As if nobody is coming in. I thought someone may have been coming into the pits there. Not quite. Evo will stay ahead of Finn. It's just staying as it was. It's a very concertina effect between these two at the moment. Nothing really changing. Wycombs is dropping off the back. He's 2.4 seconds behind now, and all sorts of action and lag and carnage happening from P8 to P10 between Reynolds, Danny and Pinecone. Will Danny get him into the first corner? I'm not sure, not quite. Oh, he's got space on the inside, but isn't going to use it, which is pretty wise of him to do so as well. But it's all kicking off in the midfield.
That is good to see battles from the midfield as well, because it just goes to show they are nearly equal on pace, but a few of them standing out more than the others. So that's why it is quite tricky to commentate on these battles as much as we can. But it'll be interesting to see who will pit first, who is going to be the one that will make the change at the moment. So we will have to wait and see for that. We will have to find out who will make the call first and what strategy as well will they go on as well, because don't forget, I think the mediums last longer than the soft, but the softs do produce better grip towards these corners. But we could see a 1-stop, we could see a 2-stop, but we got the Flying Finn closing into onto Evo, 3/10 per second, 2 temps. I'm just going to quickly follow them to see if Flying Finn can close up onto Evo. They are two of our championship contenders. Flying Finn is all right where he is at the moment, but he wants to win this race, as he said, as DRS is now open on the final corner. He is going to try and make a move, but no, he is staying where he is at the moment. But incredible pace showing between the two runners at the moment, as Reynolds was able to make a move there, but he's going into the pits. So yeah, we'll stay in touch with these guys at the moment with Flying Finn and Evo, but looks like Flying Finn is holding back a little bit there at the moment, but he is avoiding contact as possible to try and make sure he maximises the points that he needed, because don't forget, it is his final race before he goes on holiday. He'll be missing the final 2 races of this championship, so he's got to take this as much points as they can to make sure he secures his championship. But I'm just seeing Pinecone is 4 temps closing up onto Danny as well, so he is not giving up at the moment. So it is looking very, very close. But we will possibly see the likes of Wycombs possibly joining in on the party, but also Limitless is doing very well. Seeing him in P4 is absolutely fantastic from him as well. We usually see him low down the field, so his pace is absolutely brilliant. But he's recently just got a new rig as well, so it's looking good for him. Oh, and Hamilton's out of the session. He's bent it in the wall. Oh, yeah, he had very good battles here. I didn't see what happened, but James might have seen, but I haven't seen. But yeah,
I haven't seen. Yeah.
What a very strong start from Hamilton, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be, and he's now out of this race, which is a bit of a shame. But we are back on board with the Flying Finn. I'm just seeing if he can go to see if he can catch Evo, but he is not. But Martin was able. He
was left the door open, actually. Finn's got a pretty good run, actually, going throughout the turn 2. As I say, it's a very difficult place to make a move coming through the S section. But actually, Eva got it all wrong through the first corner. They were toying with each other down the pit straight. You just got to appreciate now how close that Mercedes is to the back of the Ferrari. He will make that Ferrari as wide as he dare goes. You can really just afford to keep Finn where he is. Finn could make a move into the hairpin. It's a really good opportunity for him. Needs a good exit coming out the second Degner towards, here we go, up towards the hairpin. Will he go for a move? It'll be very late if he goes for one and doesn't decide to do so. Now through Spoon Curve. We've seen him getting some pretty good runs on previous laps. Up towards Spoon Curve we go then. Let's see, 0.3 of a second is the gap at the moment. 130R could be just insane. We've seen moves there in the past. Alonso and Schumacher all those years ago but can we see Finn versus Evo into the same corner? He needs a good run coming out of Spoon Curve, because this ultimately sets you up all the way down towards the first corner itself. So you need to get a good run coming out of Spoon Curve and really maximise the attack. Finn is staying with him. He isn't really letting him go. 0.3 of a second. This has barely gone over 0.8 of a second, this gap. It's absolutely ridiculous how close these guys are keeping it. I'm not sure how Finn's still got a front end on that Mercedes as Evo dives into the pits, and there will be your race change. Will he be able to overcut the Mercedes? That is the question that's on our lips now.
Yes, we're just going to follow Evo as he comes out of the pits now, as he is going on the soft tyre. So it could be a 2-stop, it could be a 1-stop. The softs we've seen this morning does go to the end of the race, so it is doable. But I think Evo is dropping down the field. But obviously, there's people who haven't pitted yet. Let's see where he comes out at the moment. We've got Ycoms and Lockdown who are in the pits at the moment. So Evo was able to pit first and use it to his advantage. So Evo up into P5 at the moment, but he could catch up to the Flying Finn. So the gap between him and Evo's probably about 18 seconds, so he could possibly go ahead or possibly go in front of the Flying Finn, but it is all to play for these guys. So Flying Finn could pit now, but we'll have to wait and see. He has to stretch out the gap, I think, a little bit more to make sure he keeps his lead. But I'm sure he has seen Evo pit and he's thinking in his mind he'll probably will have to pit soon, or will he stretch these tyres out to the limit to make sure he can increase his gap there. So we're seeing most people pit, and I think the only battle we can see emerging is between Pinecone and Reynolds, which I'm just seeing if they've pitted. I'm just going to quickly check. Oh yes, Pinecone and Reynolds have pitted. They're on soft tyres, but I think Reynolds... Finn's in as well. Pit. Yep, he's responded to Evo there, so he's going to pit at the moment. I'm going to see where he comes out in a minute, but Pinecone is on the back of Reynolds there, as Reynolds went a bit wide there, so there's a chance for him to close. But it's not emerging much at the moment, so we're going to see where does the Flying Finn come. He's all right at the moment. I'm just going to see where Evo goes as well. I'm just going to see where Evo's on the start-finish straight. Flying Finn is in the pit, so Evo has gone to cut right, and Evo is still in the lead that's gone through, potentially after Rosberg and Danny is pitted. But yes, Evo definitely made the right decision there to pit before Finn. Absolutely brilliant. But Finn's still in a good position, I think, to take this. 2 seconds separated between him and Evo, so it is all to play for, James. Wow.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing at the moment. But the big news here is you've got that Red Bull of Danny. He is using almost as a buffer at the moment. He's not going to allow them to go past. He knows there's a good opportunity for him to still, if he keeps his race pace up, really challenge these guys at the end, potentially on Supersofts. But here goes Evo down the inside, into the hairpin. Danny doesn't put much of a fight up, and that's eventually not even going to help Finn out whatsoever. Nothing about that from the Red Bull said that he's going to give it a hand there. Can he get him back towards Spoon Curve? He may give it a go. It's too tight in there to make an opportunistic overtake. He's not going to go for it through there, but he's going to keep Evo honest as they head now down towards 130R. Big moment in the race, though. I did not expect Evo to get that sort of gap on Finn as they come out the pits. It's a pretty big margin. Yeah. That was probably the only time that Finn could have stopped was that lap without that gap. He couldn't have done it any other lap because his tyres would have just gone off. This track isn't the greatest on degradation, so can't afford to stretch those tyres as long as potentially he would have liked to. But like we say now, how quickly can Finn close up to the back of Evo? Has he got the overall race pace in this Grand Prix?
Looks like Evo's looking stronger than Finn at the moment, but Finn, I know his attitude, he's not going to give up. He wants to secure his championship today. He doesn't want to wait until the last race to find out if Evo can possibly win the last 2 races, because if Evo wins this race, the next race and the race after, Evo will win the championship, and Finn can't afford to let Evo do that. So he's got to make sure he goes and overtakes Danny to make sure he stands in with a chance. So the gap between the Flying Finn and Danny, 0.3 per second, but Danny hasn't pitted yet, but Flying Finn wants to make sure he gives Priest the gap. But we've got another battle on our hands at the moment. We've got white comms up into P6.
There's a McLaren in the barriers of more so. He's just binned it out of Degna 2. I don't know what's gone on there, but the McLaren's binned it. No idea what that's all about. big moment for him in the race, of course. Finn is now all over the back of Danny, actually, for P3. That's happening once again. Of course, this doesn't mean an awful lot in the status of Danny because he's not going to really be challenging Finn realistically towards the end. Will Finn go for a move through 130R? Are we going to see one of the stunning overtakes? Here we go then. Right around the outside he goes. He can't quite keep it all together, and Danny just holding the inside there. Didn't give him an inch, but it's so great to see Finn go for such a ballsy move. Limitless is now closing in on this fight as well, but he needs to get the move on. He needs to get past Danny in order to win this race, really. He needs to just close that gap as much as he can now to Evo, who's pulling out some 2 seconds, or nearly 3 seconds to Finn behind, but Danny has now been passed by Finn. It's all down then whether Rosberg is going to be holding up Evo through Sector 1.
Yes, I wonder what Rosberg is thinking in his head right now. He probably wasn't expected to be in this position. If I was him, I would possibly try and hold the Evo a little bit much to make sure possibly Finn can increase the gap. But I can see Evo trying to make a move down on Rosberg, but we also got Drawmaster and more so as well trying to get in on the party as well, as I think Evo has taken a lead. I think that he made it too easy there. Rosberg knew that he wasn't going to be in the fight there, so he let him through. What a man. So Evo is now back in the lead of this Grand Prix. So the gap between Evo and Flying Finn now is about 2 seconds, so the change of the lead can happen. But we've seen in previous F1 races, because I was watching some of them a few weeks ago, some of them did come up to the final lap, so the order you might see now might not be the order you see when they go across the finish line on lap 27, so it is all to play for at the moment. As we got Limitless on the back of Danny. Limitless made that move look easy, and he's now up into P4, and he's going to try and catch up to the Flying Finn. This is the Limitless we know and love at making these moves there. He's looking very strong today, but Danny is not giving up. He's already on the back of Limitless. This is getting close. That's why I like these battles. Once they make the battle, the person behind is not giving up. This is great to see. Their mentality in this race is absolutely brilliant. That's why I like these drivers. Absolutely awesome. But this is going to get very, very close. Is Limitless going to try and close up to the Flying Finn, or is he happy where he is? But right now, I think he'll be very impressed with his P4. His pace is looking astonishing at the moment. But I'm going to see I think Reynolds is closing up to Pinecone as well. But we've got I think we've got Wycombs dropping down the field there, so I don't know what happened with Wycombs. More so is pitting at the moment, so I think he's one of the last people to pit. Yes, he is. So yes, I think Wycombs is losing a bit of pace at the moment, so that's allowed Lockdown to go up into P6, so incredibly good for him. But Danny hasn't pitted yet, so I think Lockdown will be P5 at this stage. But do you think Danny will go in faster tyres? But and I think Rosberg has allowed Finn through, so Finn is up into P2, so 2 seconds clear of Evo and Finn, and he's got good pace at the moment. He can possibly try and catch him, and I'm going to see if I can follow him as well and see what laps he produces to see what he can do to try and catch the Evo and possibly win this race. But don't forget, Evo is looking very strong at the moment. Let me know your thoughts. Who you think is going to win in the chat below. It will be interesting to see who comes out on top. But wow, what a move from Limitless, and what a move from Evo trying to hold on to this lead as well. He is fighting for all his might. He wants to make sure his championship hopes stay alive. He's got to win this race no matter what. If he doesn't win this race, he's out of this championship. So it is all to play for Evo. But we've got Limitless trying to close up onto Rosberg, but Rosberg hasn't pitted. Will Rosberg make the move done on Limitless, or will he let him through? Yep, I think Rosberg let Limitless through there, so that's allowing Limitless to catch up to Flying Finn, 2.5 seconds there. So he is now up into P3. So the top three at the moment: Evo P1, Flying Finn in P2, Limitless in P3. Rosberg and Danny haven't pitted, but we got Lockdown, Wycombs, Martin, Pinecone and Reynolds completing our top 10 at the moment, James.
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's actually quite incredible to see Limitless is in P3, because unless there was some sort of mistake by Wycombs, he was there. He was actually third for a long duration of this race. He was comfortably in P3 as well. No one really touching him. And all of a sudden, he's just lost it all. I don't know what's gone on on the outcourse of his out lap, so I should say. But it's a bit of a weird one how he's so far down now. Of course, you know, like I say, we know Rosberg and Danny have got to stop. But look, he's technically a net P5 in this race. He was third. So Limitless has obviously done something, or Wycombes has just completely lost it somewhere. But Lockdown is the next on the Red Bull hit list, and he's going to be surely sailing past the Red Bull, who's got very, very little opportunity to really keep the Sauber behind him, and Danny needs to come in soon. So does Rosberg, to be honest. These two could still come and get some points today, but they do need to just find what the best strategy for them is at the moment. And to be honest, they could bolt on a set of Supersofts quite easily and go to the end of the race now. It's all to play for, really, for those guys in the back end of the top 10. Really what I want to see, though, what we've got to keep an eye on now, is just how much Evo and Finn are going to be closing each other in, or how much Finn can close Evo in. And Danny is losing another position here, and it is to Lockdown. And Lockdown this time should get the move. Straightforward move, and he is through into P5. He's now going to be on the hunt of Rosberg. Expect that to come potentially on the main straight. It's just how quick, how much more grip these guys have, and they've really got to play their cards right now, Rosberg and Danny, because they're losing. They're just dropping like flies out of the top 10 at the moment. It's not great to see. But let's just see how the top two react to each other. We need to see how much Finn can close in, if he can close in at all, to Evo in this race. It's not over yet, but it is starting to look a little bit one-sided in the Ferrari's favour.
Yes, it is looking good for the moment. His championship hopes are well alive at the moment, as Danny has decided enough is enough and he's going into the pits. But will Rosberg respond? Rosberg will need to pit soon. Rosberg does look like he's struggling a little bit, but what is interesting, Rosberg was one of the early people that started this race on the mediums. That's why he's still out, but at the moment, so that is very good pace from Rosberg. But don't forget, if you're new to F1 or AOR in general, you have to have at least one different set of compounds. So if you start on the mediums, for example, then your next set will have to be the super softs or softs. You can't qualify on another set of mediums or stay on mediums, otherwise you will be disqualified. So Rosberg will have to pit as much as he can. But we've got Lockdown closing in onto Rosberg, but it's not for track position, so Lockdown is looking for a good P4 at the moment. I'm just seeing what other battles we've got at the moment. We've got Reynolds and Pinecone have been battling all this race as well, as PR Brown is pitting again. So it's a second pit stop. So not looking strong from Brown at the moment. Not the race he was expecting, but it's showing he's not giving up. He's last, but he's not giving up. So that is very good mentality from him. So that was what we like to see from the drivers. But we're just following Pinecone and Reynolds now. Not the best of races for Pinecone at this stage, but he's trying to go his way up the field. But I think we got Martin joining in the party pretty soon, as well as Rosberg is going into the pits. I think we're almost on lap 20, so 90 or 20 laps on the medium tyre. That is absolutely incredible from Rosberg, as he was able to stretch these tyres, and he was able to go through some of the battles and possibly battle Evo and Flying Finn, even if it was just for a little bit. So that must have been a glorious moment for them. So that's allowing Pinecone and Reynolds to go up into P7 and P8 there, and Martin there. As are we going to see the Force India squeeze Pinecone there? Nope, he's not. He thinks better of it, and Pinecone stays in P7. But interesting, the gap, Evo and Flying Finn, 1.6 seconds. So Flying Finn's pace is absolutely amazing at the moment. His pace is looking strong at the moment. So he's gaining like 5/10 of a second a lap. So at the moment he's looking very strong to close in onto Evo at the final few laps of the race. It will be all to play for Evo and Flying Finn, as we've got Drawmaster in the pits again. A lot of people on two-stop strategies today, but I'm just still on board with Pinecone and Reynolds as we're going through the soup corner there, coming up towards the soup corner. I mean, we're not there at the moment, excuse me for a second, but Pinecone trying to damage limitation, I think, for him at the moment, as Wycombes is going up the field at the moment. So I think he pitted at the right time and he was able to do this, so good for him. I'm seeing how Rosberg is. Rosberg is 10th, so he's still in the points at the moment, but Danny's ahead of him. But I think Rosberg is closing in onto Rosberg is closing in onto Danny at the moment. I'm sorry, I might add, but Yes, I think the closest battle at the moment is Pinecone and Reynolds. I'm just gonna see if DRS is active. DRS is active. Is the Force India of Reynolds gonna make a move on Pinecone? Yes, he is. What an incredible move there. He made it look easy again. He's up into P7. So strong points finish for the Force India looking like at the moment. But I don't want the commentators curse too much. So what a move. But Pinecone is still 3/10 per second down on Reynolds. So he is not going to give up at the moment, James.
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep an eye on that battle. I'm keeping an eye on the top two. It's now 1.5 seconds. Consider only a few laps to go. This was 2.5 seconds. Best part of 3 seconds between these two. That is absolutely incredible pace from the Flying Finn. As stated, now 1.3 seconds. We've got just 7 laps of this Japanese Grand Prix. But it's not over, guys. You know, this is still well within his reach. He does need to get a little bit of a move on, does Finn, but not by this much. He can still win the championship. He's in a championship winning position at the moment. P2 is all he needs to do, really. It doesn't matter where he finishes, really. In comparison, he just got to finish within 16 points or so of Evo. So that's all he needs to do. He's well within reach at the moment. He's so within reach. So it's looking like a Finn championship at the moment, and it's just incredible to see just how quickly he's been able to close in on that Ferrari, just showing that actually he may just have the raw pace advantage against that Ferrari. They're on the same tyres, only a lap difference, but to be fair, Finn did pit a lap later. That's not going to make a huge difference around here, but I'm sure there'll be a little bit that's just niggling in the back of his mind. Maybe he should have stopped on the same lap as Evo. Maybe he may have not have lost as much time as he has, because he did come out in a fair bit of traffic. Although, with respect to Evo, he also came in in a bit of traffic. It's very difficult to get the words out at the moment. But yeah, we can see the likes of Rosberg and Danny. Like I said, they're in the back end of the top 10. Expect them to fight their way through the pack. The best they can realistically hope for in this race now is 8th and 9th. They're not in the same team, but they may as well aim for it. And Drawmaster actually goes and sets the fastest lap of the race so far. 1.4 seconds is the gap between the top two. Are you going to keep a massive eye on that one?
Yes, it's gonna be extremely close between Flying Finn and Evo. I can't call it at the moment. Evo will have to make sure he stays in the position to make sure he takes his championship fight. If it stays like this, it's not enough for Flying Finn to take the championship today, but you never know.
It will be enough to take the... Yep. He can take the championship today, because it's got to be 50 points, and the gap at the moment, he'd only be making 8 points up, so the gap in the championship would be 50... you're putting me on maths here. It's about 58 or 57 points between them, which would be enough for Finn. And there's a battle ahead. Pinecone, yeah, and Reynolds, and they're nearly going wheel to wheel once again down into the final corner. Here we go again. Here comes Pinecone on the inside. He's got DRS on the Force India as well as they head towards the first corner. Reynolds put a really bold move on him around the outside into turn 1, but he's going to get a move on the inside into turn 1 is Pinecone, and he's back ahead of the Force India, who's going to give it a good go back on the exit through turn 2. They're side by side towards turn 3. Who's going to gear first? It is the Haas, and what a move that is from the Force India of Reynolds, making his way into P7 in this Grand Prix. Danny's not too far behind either. Actually, I said P8. I meant to say P7, because really these guys are so close with one another. At the moment, Danny he's on the much faster tyres. Rosberg and him really can close up on these two, and they will be able to pass pretty easily, actually, the tyre advantage that they've got. Only 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix. The gap at the front, 1.1 seconds. It's nearly DRS for Finn, and he will be licking his lips at the opportunity to win this race, to win the championship.
Yes, definitely. What a battle from Reynolds, this midfield battle. They've been battling for most of this race at the moment, so don't forget the midfield battles is just as important as the championship, because they want to score as much points as possible, because it won't be long before the F1 2018 season comes along for AOR. They want to see who their competition is going into F1, because most of them will probably be in F1 next season. We will have to wait and see, but it's going to be quite close indeed. But Flying Finn and Evo, 1.1 seconds. Oh, that's going to be close. But Limitless is only 7 seconds down on Finn, so he's not going to catch up to Danny P2. But Danny is making a move on Reynolds then. Is he going to make the move done? Is he going to make it stick? What a move if he makes it done. Oh, that was a close one. I think Danny has defended that quite nicely. Some great defensive move from Danny by the looks of things. But with Reynolds again is not giving up. I think we've got Pinecone joining in the party soon as well. I can see Rosberg and Pinecone fighting on the back of that as well. So again, very close indeed between these guys. But we will have to wait and see who comes out on top between these guys. But Danny looking very strong at the moment between him and Reynolds. But the moment they battle in the front here, Pinecone could maximise this opportunity. If they see them make a mistake, they can overtake them, just like Pinecone did earlier on as well. As Rosberg was able to make the move done on Pinecone, Rosberg up into P9, back in the points. Jobs are good and looking good for Rosberg at the moment. So let's see if Rosberg can close up onto Reynolds then. He's 1 second behind Reynolds, so it can be done, it can be possible. And Flying Finn, 5/10, what? This, I told you it was going to get close, and it is. Oh my god, this is going to be absolutely incredible. Finn wants to win this championship by winning the race. That will just be on a high for him at the moment. We will be interviewing these drivers after the race, the top 3, and see how they're feeling, because they're possibly their pressure is going through the roof. But
they're so close.
Yeah, close. Let me just follow this, because I think this is the closest battle on track. But we've seen Finn gone a bit wide there. But now it's 2 tenths. He's got to make a move now.
This is so close. Yeah. Goodness me. He's right with Evo at the moment. It's 4/10 of a second. Like I said previous lap, spoon curve. He gets a good exit through there. Needs to maximise his run. He's got a fantastic opportunity to do so. The championship is within his grasp. He doesn't even need to win. He can still finish second, but he's going to give it a go anyway, because, I mean, why not at the end of the day? Let's see. Evo versus Finn towards 130R. We're heading towards the very, very latter stages of this Grand Prix. Lap 24 of 27. There's not a lot of time for him to get this move done. He couldn't do it for a long time. A good 12 laps or so when they were racing at the start of this Grand Prix. He's now within 2/10 of a second of Evo. The Ferrari is staying there. He just needs a good exit out the final corner, Finn. He needs to really it's just the run. It's just how much he dared brakes on coming into turn 1 and 2. You can basically take the first initial part of it absolutely flat out as they head down towards turn 2. You then brake. You've got to throw the car in and just see where the grip's going to take you, because he's not going to have a lot of it with that dirty air that he's really witnessing at the moment. Finn needs to get this move. Can he do it through here? It's just not viable, though. Eva's got a little bit of a tail. A happy moment coming through the S section. Here we go again towards the Degners. Evo versus Finn. It's not over yet, ladies and gents. You better keep your eyes peeled on this one as they head down towards the second Degner, towards the hairpin at the top of the circuit. This is where the figure of 8 complex, of course, happens, and towards the hairpin. He's going to be close, but not close enough. Keep riding with this. It's not over yet. These guys are not going to give in. 25 laps completed, and they're going to be taking it to the absolute wire here. We've only got 2 laps to go. Evo on the back of Finn. Like I say, it's just this corner here, and Evo runs a little bit wide out of there. It's not brilliant for him. It's not perfect, but Finn will struggle to get a really good run, although it's not bad from Finn at all. He can just really maximise his run to 130R towards the chicane. He needs to get a move on down the main straight. It's going to be so close on the way in towards turn 1 this time. He needs to get very light on the brakes. He indeed has done. And you've seen battles between Ferrari and Mercedes for a long time, but this is going to be something special, I'm sure, as we head now, Finn, towards the first corner, as he's got a bit of DRS on Evo once again towards 1 and 2. He's not closing in enough at the moment. It's not enough for the Flying Finn. There is action behind with Reynolds and Rosberg, but this is far more important, I'm afraid, to keep an eye on this, because Evo and Finn just fighting the absolute ragging edge of these cars to the absolute limits here. Absolutely fantastic.
It is good to see. I absolutely love when this happens. Evo and Finn are very strong indeed. And Martin is going in the pits again. I did see earlier on Martin did disconnect there, so I wonder if he will join the session soon. But I think Finn is going to make the move done on Evo, but I think he's got to make it stick at the moment. That was extremely close, but he's got a few more chances going towards the penultimate corner. Well, a few more corners coming up to near spoons in the moment. So 2/10 of a second down. It is not over yet. This could go either way between Evo and Flying Finn. Anyone can win this race, but it is just also play. But they can't bin it. Oh my God, he is trying to make a move.
He's It is pretty tense at the moment, isn't it? He got so close onto the hairpin, just letting him know, keeping his mirrors, filling them up with the side of the Mercedes. That's not what you want to see if you're in a Ferrari, of course. Here we go then towards the final chicane. This will be for the second to last time, the penultimate lap. And we start the final lap of this Japanese Grand Prix. Finn versus Evo towards the first corner. Finn's got DRS, the best run he's had all race, really, on the back of that Ferrari. He's going to move to one way. The Ferrari's not going to close enough. Can Finn keep it in there? Not quite close enough. Although through the exit of turn 2, they could be side by side all the way to turn 3. Nearly bins it, does Finn, on the exit of turn 2. He needs to get a move done now in towards the S section. We go again. Evo, it's not giving in, is he? He just knows this is everything he can do to keep the championship alive for him. But it's not going to be enough because Finn is just all over him as they head towards the Degnas. They nearly touch on the entry. They're banging wheels into the Degnas. And Finn is eventually nearly binning it again through Degnas 1 and 2. What an incredible fight between those two, giving no quarter given. Absolutely insane between these two. It's not even done yet though. Finn and Evo are still going to go at it. It's 0.6 of a second. You could say it's too much, but Finn closes up gaps like they're not even there. It's like a TARDIS, that thing just moves so quickly. And here we go again towards Spoon Curve. He's just, look at the run. He's just keeping that front end in there. I can't believe he's got that much front end grip. It's absolutely absurd how much front end he's got in that Mercedes. It's not going to matter because I don't think he's going to get Evo towards the final chicane. And this, of course, means a huge deal for him because with this, I believe it's going to mean something quite special. Evo will take the checkered flag in Suzuka, but the Flying Finn has won again in AOR. He is another AOR champion. What a fantastic performance, and he's found himself in the absolute history books of this league once again.
Ooh.
That is incredible.
We've got Limitless closing up onto Lockdown. Limitless was able to defend there, and Limitless a great finish there, P3, but Lockdown closing in very well, and what a good start from him, as we just seen his AI Limitless bottle it there. So, Wycombe just bottled it on the line, but he was still able to finish there. So a tire glitch there, but he was still able to finish that, so that's good. But up into P5 for him. Danny in P6, a strong finish for him. Rosberg in P7, Reynolds in P8, Pinecone in 9th. Let's see who's going to get the final point. It looks like it's going to be Drawmaster since Martin is Martin. Oh, Martin's got a penalty and is down in P13. So not the start finishes he wanted. But Flying Finn, I've just worked out the gap actually. The gap now with these points is between Finn and Evo is 58 points. So it's not going to be enough for Evo to take the championship. The Flying Finn is an AOR championship winner once again, very well deserved. So and that's good timing as well because he's not going to turn up to the last 2 races. So a good thing must be on his mind at the moment. But Evo, I wonder what Evo's thinking in his mind right now. He must be bittersweet at the moment. But we will find out in the interviews in a minute just to see how they're feeling at the moment. Could be mixed emotions between these guys. Oh, what a good race from them. Finn almost had the win there, but Evo a 3rd win in a row, I think. So very, very good. To be honest, I don't know why Evo wasn't picked in the pro draft because his pace is astonishing. They've been missing out on him. Evo, another win on his belt. Vettel didn't win in Germany, but Evo was managed to win in Suzuka to please the German fans there. So very good from these guys. So your final championship standings for this race. Evo in P1, but not enough to take the championship. Flying Finn taking the championship today. Limitless a really strong finish in P3 with Lockdown closing in on the last few laps in P4. Wycombs, a great race for him, but a few penalties there in P5. Danny in P6, Rosberg in 7th, Reynolds in P8, Pinecone in P9, Drawmaster in P10. Wow, what a race from these guys, but Flying Finn, because of his dominance, I think, towards the start of this championship, I think that's what's done him there. So well done to the Flying Finn there. That should give him a good confidence boost when he goes on holiday. But yes, I was very glad. I don't know about you, James. I was very glad to commentate on this race.
Oh yeah, it was an absolute pleasure to do this. Finn, what a performance. What a season for him, taking the championship. I mean, he was unstoppable at the start of this year. There was nobody touching him. And to win a championship the way he's won a championship is just ridiculous. It is absolutely obscene. The man is in F1 esports. I want to go as far as saying the man can go all the way. He is seriously quick. You can't beat these guys are fantastic drivers. They're the best of what they can be. But when you've got a man like that sat with you in a championship race and you're trying to beat them in any Grand Prix, you're just going to look in your mirrors. He must fill the mirrors. It's just so... It must be a scary sight to see the flying thing coming up in your mirrors going, you know what, I'm going to make this overtake and you're not going to do anything about it. It is really special, the fact that he's won this championship. Kudos to him, because that is absolutely incredible. What a season again of AOR. Yes. I hope next season is just...
I hope it is as well. We're going to see if we can get our top 3 in the Discord. But I think we also got Ycoms for interview as well. But we're just going to see if we can get the Flying Finn and Evo in the chat, especially. If we want to hear his reaction to the happenings at the moment. I'm not sure he has Discord, but I don't know at the moment. But we'll have to wait and see. But if not, we could possibly get Ycoms in. But we'll just wait to see if the Flying Finn and Evo can join us, because it'll be interesting to see how Evo feels. So we'll just wait for a little bit. I don't know how they invite people in when Justin and Andy do it, but I know a lot of people will be wanting to hear the first reaction. I think the Flying Finn probably must be speechless, so he must want time to recover before he comes and be interviewed by us. So yeah, so I'll just wait to see if they come up. If not, we could invite Ycoms in the interview box if we can't, because I think Ycoms finished in P5, so that was a good race from him from Xbox. I think he won't be racing next week, but it'll be nice to hear his thoughts as well. So I don't think Flying Finn is not joining us at the moment, or Evo. So I think, shall we add Ycoms into the chat then?
Up to you. Totally up to you.
Right, we'll add him. I haven't done this before, so if I get this wrong. So, right, I'll see if I can drag him to the chat. There we go. We have our lovely Mr. Ycoms in the chat with us. Hello. What a strong finish for you. P5 there. But there was a few things that went wrong with you. Tell us what your mind thoughts through this race there.
Well, obviously it's good to be, back racing properly without technical issues, I guess. That's why I've obviously moved back to the Xbox side. But yeah, I don't know. For those who don't know, I had a 24-hour race this weekend, so I was a little bit, tired and concentration wasn't too high. But yeah, I mean, race wasn't too bad. I made a lot more mistakes than I would normally do. But yeah, I will take P5, and obviously I have to congratulate also the Flying Finn Sully on the championship. He did amazing this season, so yeah, it's pretty cool that he has wrapped it up now, and obviously also congratulations to Evo for the win.
Yes, Evo must be bittersweet, and it must have been a very good opportunity for you to race in the championship deciding race, pretty much. So tell us there, what was your strategy going into this? Were you expecting to get into the position that you were, or were you just there to just race, really?
I don't know, I was not really expecting anything, but after qualifying and after start, I was like, maybe a podium is even on the cards, and I think I had the pace for it, but I knew as well, that I probably wouldn't be able to, do the most consistent laps, and I was a little bit all over the place. I think some people saw that quite extensively, especially Martin, who was behind me in the last couple of laps. I was a little bit all over the place. So in the end, really, I can't really complain about P5.
Yeah, especially since you've done a 24-hour there. I would like to say congratulations on your 24-hour stint with your team there. Well done. I'm quite surprised you're able to still race F1 there, but I thank you for coming. But we've got the Flying Finn ready for interview, and we're going to invite him in the chat. And we got Evo as well. Good timing. We're going to invite them both in the chat there, just as we come there. You can stay if you want Ycoms. But the Flying Finn, congratulations. You have just won the AOR Championship for Season 15. How do you feel?
Yeah, feels really good. Feels really good. Enjoyed that. Enjoyed the whole season, but mostly enjoyed the battle as well at the end with Evo. Gives a good touch to the whole season, like how it's been between us two. He's pushed me throughout the whole season, left, right, and centre at every single track who's up there. And yeah, to finish like that at the end, how close it was like that, really, really fun. But yeah, that's all I can say. Feels really good.
Yeah, it was interesting to see your battles there. You were getting ever so close to Evo to get that win. Were you wanting to win to get the championship, or were you happy staying where you were there?
No, as you can see, 3 seconds the gap was, and I was pushing like hell to catch the gap down. And I picked up 2 warnings on, I think it was lap 4, so I was running the risk of getting a penalty as well, but kept on pushing for the next 24 laps or so and managed to close the gap down. But unfortunately, due to slipstream, which I had relatively no chance. So yeah, gave it my all at the end there. I think I was on the outside at Degna 1, but I think there was desync and his car pushed me off the track. And I'm pretty sure on his screen it would have been my car hitting him as well, rather than the other way around. So yeah, I don't think it's his fault there at all. It's just desync. But yeah, I gave him all at the end to get past. But it is what it is. These things happen. It happened last season with Matiz as well. He was catching me down and deserved the win. But slipstream Rich didn't allow him that. So yeah, what goes around comes around. I'm just happy to finish with a battle like that.
And that will be a good confidence for your esports as well, for Sauber as well. Congratulations on the signing as well. So I'd like to wish you luck on that. But Evo, what a bittersweet moment for you. You won the race, but you were ever so close in getting the championship fight to the last few races. But what incredible pace from you. What was your strategy going into the space there?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I don't feel really good at the moment. It was a tough race. I feel like I don't deserve this one because of all the connection issues and then slipstream glitch and stuff. He should have won that for sure. I don't know what to say really. I don't feel very good.
No, man, don't worry about it. Honestly, don't feel bad at all. Like this is the whole season. There's been times where I've had more luck than you, so don't worry. Just enjoy it. And I'm just glad we've had this battle the whole season. Like, I think you are the toughest opponent I've come across in AOR so far, and I really, really hope to see you get signed in the future by an F1 team.
Yeah, of course. I have to congratulate you on the title. Not to forget that.
Yes.
You'll get it next season.
I am looking forward to seeing you two battle for the championship again this next season, because we also play for at the moment. James, any words to say for these two guys before we head off?
I mean, other than what a massive achievement it is, Finn. I mean, congratulations, man. That is huge. So, congrats on that. To Evo as well on the victory. I mean, that was no easy race. There isn't an easy race in this league. I'm sure anyone could tell you that. So yeah, just what a fantastic way to end off the season. Brilliant to be actually in the commentary box for it as well. I was actually really surprised to get the heads up, but so glad I could have covered it for us. And yeah, I'll just leave you to round this off then, Jess.
Yes, we would like to thank you, everyone who's been watching the stream. Quite a lot of people watching the stream, you guys getting involved as well. There are a lot of contenders for driver of the day, but I think all of them very, very shone there as well. But once again, congratulations to the Flying Finn for the championship. Unfortunately, he won't. I'd like to wish him a good holiday as well, a good relaxing. But we will be back next week. Also, thanks to our sponsors, Hype Energy, Elgato, and Thrustmasters as well. Very good. And thanks to all of you guys as well. We'll be back next week for USA, but I won't be doing F1. I'll be doing F2. But Andy and Justin will be back with you guys next week to commentate on the fun. But with the battles we have seen there tonight, it's going to be very close to see who will take the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the championship. So I've been Jess Games 95, and James has been James, and we will see you next week for some more.
Can I say one thing quick?
Yeah, so sure. Sorry.
Yeah, just wanna give a shout out to JD as well in 3rd place, first time on his podium, first time on the wheel on the podium. So congrats to him. But I also want to say shout out to Mitchell as well in 4th, but mostly to Wycons as well. It's just good to have him back on Xbox, and yeah, it just shows without screen freezes he can deliver good results. And I'm pretty sure for the last 2 races you guys will see him up the top as well with Evo and a few others. So Yeah, and also one thing quick, has Brendan won the title on PC?
I really don't know. I will just check Twitter quickly because I'm quite intrigued to find out if who's won that one, because there's a championship battle going on there as well.
Well, if he has, congrats to him as well. It's a shame we're not racing on the same platform, but yeah, congrats to him as well. I think he's done a good season on there, but yeah, I look forward to racing him in his spots as well.
I'm trying to find. I can't find anything at the moment. So we want to find out who's won the championship, who has won PC, and if Brendan Lee has done his moment to win the championship. We'll find out on Twitter, I guess. But yeah, well done to Limitless for his P3 there on the wheel. Absolutely incredible, great there. But anyway, I've been Jess. James has been James, and AOR, we will see you next week for USA. Until now then, goodbye.